morning, Simmin. So thank you so much for joining in on this platform, these Thoughts Conversations. It's been my long time idea on how richer learning can be when you actually, take it as a discussion and describe your live experience. And today being Women's Day, so you had been on my list, and thank you so much for joining.
I'm
So
so grateful to you that you thought of me and bringing me to your platform. So it is a complete privilege at my end to have this one-on-one conversation with you.
thank you. So, to begin with, a childhood memory of yours that has shaped you to who you are today.
So one of the things that I can recall impromptu happens to be where I have always been a listener. I cannot qualify myself to be a good listener or a bad listener, but I've been a listener. So when you listen at two ends. You listen to your own voices, everything that is talking to you, that is conversing with you. But somehow, from a very young age, I used to listen to people around. And listening is when there's always a lot of noise around us. I mean, I grew up in a family which is big. I mean, dad is like 10 brothers and sisters, mom is five,
Uh-huh.
and so we have a big family. And sometimes it's not just passively listening to other people's conversations, but it is a matter of sometimes people just want to come and pour out themselves.
Yeah.
Aparajita, I have always believed that when you listen, you're holding space. Now, I'm not saying that you necessarily have to respond. Sometimes just listening gives you this kind of an empowerment to absorb what other people are trying to convey in words, in those unsaid ways, through their gestures and very other types of conversations which are taking place. But at the same time, when you're allowing the other person to speak and you're listening, you're holding space without judgment. So each time I think of my childhood, I've always found myself to be this so-called listener, and very quietly, be it friends, family, anybody. It's all a matter of going back and listening. It's just that you're offering emotional presence, you're offering space, a safe space for them. Many a times, Aparajita, people don't want solutions. They just want to be heard. And so when I think of my childhood, I always think of myself as a listener. I'm not agony aunt, but I'm a listener and I love to listen. Everybody has stories. Sometimes the experiences are very similar. The expression is very different.
Beautiful. So, the power of listening.
Yes.
All right. So, what's that instant mojo or like a quick burst of energy, confidence, or spark that helps you immediately feel motivated, creative, or ready to perform at your best? Okay, so before you start this question, I want you to tell me how you get it, how you keep it, and in case you lose it, how do you get it back?
Too much information you are getting out of me, yeah. But then of course, yeah. So mojo for me has always been, so it is a set of two, but they are interconnected. Okay. One is connect and reconnect. Okay. It's not just connect, but sometimes you have to reconnect. It's like a plug that you plug in. You're done with your device and then you plug out. But when you need it again, you do plug in again. So therefore, for
Hmm.
me, it is connect and to reconnect. This connection and reconnection is with my inner stillness. It's with my purpose. Now, this is very important is because we always have to connect and reconnect to others, but also with our own selves. You shouldn't
Ah.
forget your own self. So some of the tools that I use on a everyday basis, one is grounding. It's very important to realize we're all on this planet. We're like SIM cards, prepaid SIM cards with limited validity. So it's important to ground yourself at all the time. Yeah, ground. So grounding could mean walking. barefoot, going to a garden, walking, reminding yourself you're just a tiny speck in this vast, vast multiverse that we live in. And if I have to get it back, I think grounding, breathing, conscious breathing. See, we take our breath for granted. I think COVID was a phase which actually reminded us how
Yeah.
important oxygen is. So
COVID
breathe
actually gave a lot, I mean, I think a variety of lessons to everybody in their own,
in their own right,
space.
correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And connected to this is, do you recall COVID also taught us to pause? So breathing, grounding, a pause in my everyday life, which is so filled with action, so much happening. Pause for a few minutes. It's very important. It is a matter of me pausing and thinking, why am I doing what am I thinking? Why am I doing what am I doing? What is my intention behind it? Connecting with purpose, connecting to my own energy. And when I do this kind of a connection and a reconnection, the energy returns immediately. It's very instant.
Ah. Okay, so you
Secondly,
have that expert in you to plug in, plug out.
yeah, plug in, plug out. But I'm not the only expert. Once people start doing this, it becomes a very automatic process. It's like constant doses of medication that you're giving to yourself, which is absolutely free of cost. The creator created us with all these tools, yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just that we are not making the maximum use of it. And the
We never
second,
actually think about ourselves.
yeah. And secondly, as you asked, how do you keep it? Okay. So here comes in the very important mantra, which is consistency. You have to give yourself these pauses at regular intervals. Don't we eat and drink water at regular intervals in the day? We are consistent with our meals, or at least we should be. In a similar manner, consistency to clear up this inner space within. In
Hmm.
breathing, as I said, conscious breathing, one of the most powerful techniques, reflection, very
Okay.
movement. And this movement is very important because, see, though doctors say that, we should exercise, we should work out, why should it only be exercise and workout? It could be dance, it could be a walk, it could just be stretches here and there. Another one being meditation. Now,
Hmm.
Aparajita, lot of people who meet me, they say, Simon, we cannot meditate. We cannot close our eyes, blank our mind. And I say, you know what? I also cannot.
But
But
there are a lot of meditative
yes,
activities, right?
yeah,
Like for me, I listen to Carnatic music, live
hmm,
concerts that
hmm,
actually takes me to that inner stillness.
yeah,
So even post this,
wonderful.
I'm plan. I mean, I'm going for a concert to
Uh-huh.
to experience that of recent. Like it's been 2 3 years where I
Yeah.
consciously started it. But that is one of my method of going into a state of meditativeness. But
Hmm.
I'm just adding because you
Yeah.
had told
So
about meditation.
I love to work out in the gym. In
Hmm.
the gym, when you're holding weights, it's a very meditative process. Huh? Walking on the treadmill is a very meditative process. You can't miss a step. You have to be so conscious, otherwise, you will injure yourself. Meditation could also mean creative visualization. And I think everybody is capable of doing this, at least this creative visualizing. Imagine yourself in a garden with a lot of colorful butterflies, beautiful flowers, the breeze is blowing, the sun is setting. Give yourself those beautiful moments. It's not always a Parijita that I have to go out and actually experience it. I can have the
Ah,
experience in my mind as well.
mind.
Our mind is, so the word is buddhu. Buddhu is that, it can be a little dull in understanding reality versus imaginations. And that is what I learned when I learned laughter therapy. Because when you
Laughter
laugh,
therapy. Oh.
yeah. So when you laugh, your brain cannot identify between fake laughter and real laughter. It secretes the same hormones and same chemicals both the times. Isn't it amazing?
Oh yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
Really? Oh, so
yeah.
even a fake laugh actually helps.
Hugely. And that is why you have all these laughter clubs, right? That is also a sort of meditation. There is walking meditation that I teach. There is dance meditation that I teach. There is word meditation. There are so many types of creative
Word
meditations. Yeah.
meditation?
Word meditation, word, WORD.
Okay.
So, so there are so many of these, and one doesn't have to have an inclination towards a religion. These are spiritual techniques. The word spiritual means I get in touch with my spirit, with the being that is there inside me. I can live a good life. I know atheists who are the world's kindest people on the planet. So it's not only that. But yes, when I speak about God, I also say that one of the things that really helps is praying. Because when you pray, you disconnect and once again you connect. There is a divine
Ah.
spark
So it's
within.
like it's one of the pause methodology.
Yes. So it is a great way to build a sacred space within, to have a conversation. See, everything cannot be managed by me alone. So all those small doses, and sometimes people just find a lot of answers to their questions in these. See, these are all ways and techniques to anchor your own spark. And that spark should not die. It should remain ignited within you forever. I see people of different ages, because I'm a college professor. So I see students pass out year after year. Then I meet them here and there. I may see them on social media. Sometimes I feel very sad because the bubbliest souls have lost their spark. And I feel so miserable because life is not always going to be kind. And hence, I always say what you really need to keep in terms of your mojo is your spark. And if you lose it, the question is, can I ever get it back? The answer is a yes. It's actually a big shout out yes. Because it's very natural. All that you need to do is sometimes slow down. Now, slow down doesn't mean slow down in terms of the work that you are doing, but give yourself that little pace. Remember, we're all running a sort of a rat race. All the
Yeah.
more now in this fast moving world, and especially when you live in
Yeah.
in big urban cities, metros, always running. So somewhere you have to slow down a little, and to
It's not
slow
that
down,
we want to run, but then
yeah,
the environment is,
in which we are.
yeah,
So
exactly. The environment,
correct.
especially you're saying the metro cities. So
Huh.
we've been forced to run with it.
Yeah. So I wish to share this episode. I was in Turkey, and it was a group tour that we had opted for, and the group leader, we were about 40-42 people, and the group leader would always tell us chalu. Is a Hindi word chalu, chalu, chalu. Chalu means move on, come,
Yeah.
continue. So the local tour guide, he picked up the word chalu. And we used to find it so weird that, a Turkish man's using the word chalu. And then, at one point he just asked me, because I was asking a lot of questions.
Yeah.
He asked me, why is there this sort of chalo? Where are you chaloing? I mean, how much are you going to chalo? And then, it made me realize we're just moving. Chalo is move. Come on,
Yeah.
move.
Yeah.
We need to slow down even when we are moving. So, people travel long distances. You can slow down then also. You don't always have to be in that hyper mode. I want to share this experience. When I was counseling a lady,
Okay.
she was very unhappy in life. Typical mother housewife, that everybody is taking me for granted, etc. I realized that her children stopped going to school 25 years ago. 25. She was still in that mode to wake up early morning, iron uniforms, make that egg and omelette and toast, then pack tiffins, give it to that tiffin carrier who comes. Then children finish eating at school, he brings back the tiffin. She would bring it back, wash it, prepare for their evening snack. So she was always in the hyper mode. That is why
Yeah.
she was having high BP issues and many other issues. And I asked her, why are you hyper? That phase is over.
But
And
the
then
25 years hasn't bought any.
no, nothing. She still wants to be in that hyper mode, always. So sometimes and at that point, I just had to make her realize. That's all. I just had to tell her, you are not in that school mode. So she was grumbling that the husband got 5 kgs of peas to clean and how she had to manage it totally. I asked her why you could have kept it in the refrigerator and done it portion by portion. She said, but I have to. And then I have to tell her what? You don't have to prepare tiffins.
Uh,
You don't have to. Children, I mean, you are
so
now
controlling the
carrying.
mind is an art.
So therefore, we don't have to push hard. We have to rest, give moments of silence, have space of self compassion. The mojo will return back naturally.
Beautiful, beautiful. I mean, I don't know how you're like, bringing in thoughts and concepts in a very natural way. So thank you. Okay. So I mean, as we begin, I think we're already into the groove. But when did you first become curious about life's deeper questions?
So I was always interested in why do people feel, say, behave the way they do. Because I was a listener, I used to wonder what their intentions are. I used to always try to figure out what is it that is making them say what they are, do what they are, think what they are.
Hmm.
Therefore, when I was in school, I used to always be of this curious mind that why do people do what they do? The purpose behind it. When I formally started
The
learning
purpose behind it.
psychology, and that is when I realized it's all a matter of Parijita, what is going on at the conscious mind, at the subconscious mind, at the unconscious mind. Consciously, I am with you. But maybe all my responses to your wonderful questions is coming from my subconscious, unconscious mind. And all
Hmm.
this revolves around each and every one of us. I have realized in our intentions, we all want to survive, we all want to thrive, we're all trying to find meaning in our life. And this meaning we can get either by studying philosophy and understanding why am I here, the reason why am I here, or why do I behave the way I do. And that is where holistic healing got me, intrigued because somewhere we're all trying to find these sort of meanings within us. We're all trying to explore the world through a different lens. Today, I'm
Exactly.
trying to understand the feminine energy and women through your lens. Maybe you are trying to do that through my lens. Our listeners are trying to do the same. We're all trying to experience these different lenses of our existence. And that is why asking questions. One of the things that I have learned in my journey is it's very important to ask different questions, not to find one single answer. Eventually, we will find answers. But this
Hmm.
entire process of questioning, and whom do I have to question? I don't have to question the world, or politics, or economics. I have to question myself because all of this put together is in me. We're
Yeah.
a beautiful
Everybody
amalgamation,
has all these within
all
themselves.
of these. So we are a beautiful amalgamation of the physical, the mental, the emotional, the intellectual, the sexual, the financial, the spiritual, so many wonderful aspects. And we're all just trying to find meaning into who we are, what we are. And again, this is not a one time phenomena that okay, I ask a question and I elicit the answer. No, in the human domain of our own personal existence, it's a lifelong process. I'm always discovering and rediscovering different parts of me. I didn't know how that I could cook
Beautiful.
well at some point in time. I love adventure sports. I'm crazy for them. But once upon a time, I was extremely fearful of everything that it was going to bring about for me. It's these
Okay.
very sacred spaces that
Mhm.
we reach when we delve deeper, and therefore questioning is very important. I want to share once again.
Yeah.
I love stories and experiences, and that's why I just come back to all of this. So a friend of mine, close friend of mine, for her 25th birthday, she had gone to New Zealand, and there she had gone to experience adventure sports, in particular bungee jumping. I'm sure
Okay.
the listeners and you also would know people are very fearful,
Yeah.
in those moments, and there's anxiety.
Yeah. You should be
And
mentally ready to do these kind of
yeah,
activities. Hmm.
and that day, I had wished her, but of course I didn't hear from her because early morning she was going to go for this. So later in the day, I received a phone call from her partner, and he called me and he said that, you know what, she's just not able to. They have tied her 3 times. She's been crying and fearful. There is money that's already been paid, and she wants to do it. And large part of her doesn't want to. I spoke to her as to what is this fear all about. Ask yourself, what are you scared of? You are tied to a rope. You're safe. It's just that it's not your upper body, but it's the lower body. I spoke to her. After 20 minutes, I get a call from her partner saying she still can't do it. I again spoke to her. Second time, again, I pepped her up, gave her all types of gyan. Third time, when she called me, I gave her the gyan. Then I told her, give the phone back to your partner. And I told him, just push her down. I know I'm damn mean as a friend, but I had to do that. And after half an hour, I get a phone call and all types of, oh my God, how could you, blah, blah, blah. I said, but how did you feel? She says, great, I want to do it again. I said, please
And
do.
she did it.
Absolutely. 3 times. She was there for about 25 days. So 3 times she was able to do it. Of course, different places and time. But
Wow.
just imagine, it's only a
Wow.
matter of us having
These
all
stories of
these,
these actually,
yeah,
motivation level goes up
yeah.
immediately.
So it's just a matter of you being curious of life's deeper questions. Sometimes when it's not happening, you just have to have the faith and let go. In this case, I was a devil, and the one who actually executed it was her partner. So yes,
You know your friend quite deep.
I know myself deep. So I have learned this. If I know myself to a very great extent, I think I can gauge and handle anybody and everybody.
Ah, okay.
Because we're all made up of those similar fears, yeah, of those similar belief patterns which may be irrational. Some of them are rational. We learn all these things over a period of time. And
Beautiful.
I've been in this space of holistic healing from the age of 15 years. I've been
Okay.
aware of my intuitive abilities from the age of 4 years. So I've done a lot of work on the way up. So I think experience also matters. But of course,
Matters.
studying psychology, philosophy, and a whole lot of holistic healing spaces, it just makes us realize we're all made up of the same insecurities we have. It's all a matter of how much are we able to handle and to what extent are we able to.
Beautiful. So if emotional healing were a natural element like
Ah,
water, fire, earth, air, which one
space.
would you say it resembles most and why?
See, emotions is always a matter of what flows, and therefore I would choose water. Remember, water not just flows. What does it flow around? If there is a big rock in the sea, water cannot push through it, but it can
Hmm.
go around it.
Around it.
So it's a matter of what flows around as well, including the obstacles. Sometimes water is able to push through with consistency over a period of time. Sometimes it can create cracks in the rock,
Yeah.
and many times it can break it as well if the force is
Ah,
very, very deep.
yeah. Hi. Yeah.
And therefore, all these landscapes that are there, it can nourish them. It can reshape landscapes over time.
Beautiful.
Healing works in a similar manner because it doesn't happen through force. See, I cannot force. It's like, you can take the horse to the river but can't make it drink water. There are many who will say, oh, my husband requires healing and my daughter requires healing, but they will not come. Can I do the healing on their behalf? It's not possible. You should come. You, because it is a voluntary act. We shouldn't push healing through it with force. No, you have to say these affirmations, you have to do all these practices. Nah, it doesn't work that way.
Work. So from your experience as a counselor and healer, what
Huh.
are the emotional patterns many people today are struggling with?
So when you give them all these gentle movements, when you show patience towards them, you allow emotions to flow rather than just suppress and repress them. Just like water, eventually finding its way forward, healing will also find its way forward. Similarly, it's all a matter of how I feel and the processes which are going on in my inner world, which I'm ready to open up. The problem that I see in our current generation, and see, most of us are going through, it's not one or two, it's a few. One being some sort of an emotional disconnection. All the time I'm coming across people who say I'm very overwhelmed, I'm very anxious, anxiety. I thought people had anxiety only during examinations, but there are interviews, presentations. There's
Mm.
so much of anxiety. Somewhere there is an emotional disconnection with people outside as well as inside. Inside, though, we are disconnected
No,
to a very
anxiousness is emotional disconnection.
yeah, yeah. But secondly, we're also disconnected with others. Nowadays, if you see, people are just busy with their phones. I'm not paying. I have seen parents scrolling and not listening to what their small children are saying. The worst being, I know we had gone for this. It was my birthday, and we had gone. Our family had gone out for dinner, and at this adjacent table there were these family of four. For it first it was just husband and wife for about 25-30 minutes, and then the two children. They spoke, four of them spoke more to the waiter than to each other, because each one was busy scrolling, and because we were making a lot of noise and we were talking and cracking jokes and all, they were getting irritated with us. But that's what a social space is meant to be.
Yeah.
So there is so much of disconnection. Secondly, this disconnection is leading us to a sense of loneliness within. It's leading me to a sense of self-doubt, because the supports are not there the way they used to. Roots. Our
Yeah.
roots are not strong today. So
No.
mothers and parents would tell their children, grandparents would say, oh, you are the best. You are the one who will do it. Now if those words are not there, I begin to doubt myself. That inner critic within is
Mm.
choking me and killing me. There is also a lot of pressure to perform or to prove oneself.
Yeah.
So much social comparisons, on on Instagram and
Mm.
Facebook and everywhere. Everybody's looking so happy. Everybody's going out wearing the best of
Yeah, I mean,
clothes.
social media only
This,
has the happy part,
that,
no, that is being
absolutely. But then,
being shown up.
yeah, and then I put a sort of a pressure on myself, and I say, no, I should also do that. I also want to. We're scared to show the world that we can be vulnerable as well. I've seen all these celebrities. If they lose a parent, they wear shades because they don't want to show that they want to cry. They want to,
Mm.
grieve. It's very sad. So the pressure to constantly perform, to prove oneself, we carry a lot and lot of what I call as unprocessed emotional baggage. We have a lot of
From
these
where? From where do we carry it?
from our childhoods right up to this moment, because I'm not allowing myself to process it. I have a special program that I offer on weight management. Most of the times I've realized the weight is, though it is physical, it's actually emotional. I'm carrying burdens of judgments,
Mm.
criticism, negativity, yeah, self created burdens on myself. Why am I doing this? So my weight can also be emotional weight. I have worked with so many women, Aparajita, with these weight related issues where the weight has largely been emotional. Once they start, like I had a lady who used to go for these workouts for 3 hours every day. She
Ah.
wouldn't lose even an inch. Okay? And
Really?
she was frustrated. She was absolutely frustrated. So she came and she said, I just want to take away my life, blah, 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 blah. Because she needed to lose weight because of health concerns. And I started working with her on these emotional areas. And the gym started doing its work then. All the effort now
Okay.
started showing
So
because
the
it's these
emotional baggage
baggages.
actually brought down.
Ah, yeah, a lot of these.
So why is emotional healing often a difficult journey for any people to begin?
We're not ready to be honest to ourselves. It requires courage, no, for me to acknowledge I'm in a mess. One. Two is I need external help. I need professional help. And when I start undoing, It makes me feel uncomfortable. People break down, they cry, they feel vulnerable, which they don't want to because the society tells you be strong all the time. Okay? Many of us have been taught from childhood to suppress emotions.
Yes.
You usually, when I talk about
So
gender
is that a human
binaries,
mindset or is it
yeah, it is conditioning. From childhood, you are told don't cry. I mean, men, I feel so sad for them when because
yeah,
all this while you're crying like a woman. Okay, but crying is catharsis. It's letting go. It's natural. It's very,
yes.
very natural.
So you
And
should not be suppressing your emotions.
yeah. So when you suppress your emotions for a long time, okay, then when you allow it to be uncovered in the most ugly manner with all the details attached to it, and you look at it from an objective point of view, people are opening up emotional wounds. A doctor once told me, with whom, I was having a counseling session. I was counseling a doctor, and he was a surgeon. And when we started this process, and he was, sometimes doctors become little hard hearted because they go through these processes of seeing dead bodies on a
Yeah,
regular basis. Yeah.
maybe.
And he told me, a particular thing. He said, when somebody has an abscess, a pus filled abscess, he makes an incision into it. Everything that is ugly inside starts flowing out. That's what healing does. It's making these small incisions in every session. But what's most important is we're opening up the wound to clean it forever. What's required is that you get relief from these emotional pains.
So
You
can
have to,
emotional healing actually, overtake that, surgery itself? Can we do without it?
of course, I have had miracles. I have worked with so many cancer patients, and I've realized a deep connection of cancer is with one's emotions. It's anger. It's largely anger. It's unprocessed negativity. And see, negativity is not something which is coming from the external, it comes from within itself. I store it. I don't allow it to let go. There are so many aspects, there's so much of anger, there are varieties of angers. All that is required is this process of understanding it, integrating it, and moving forward with greater awareness. That's it. But though I am saying that's it, it does take a lot of courage many a times to open
Not
up those
easy.
wounds, yeah, to comprehend them, to integrate them, and then to tell yourself, okay, I've been through all this. Now, chalo, let us move on with it. And of course, it's not just a regular move on where I just shrug my shoulder and say, okay, move on. No, it has to have greater awareness. The
Okay.
awareness has to stay with me for a very, very, very long time, such that I don't repeat those patterns again.
Okay. Okay. So now I think no, we're slowly getting into the groove. So to talk about our feminine topic from your years of studying philosophy and working in holistic healing, how do you understand the idea of the feminine spirit today? Is it something cultural, psychological, or spiritual, or a blend of all of these?
See, I see the feminine spirit as something beautiful. Okay. It's beautiful because it's a blend of culture. It's
So
a
why do
blend.
only females have it?
No, if men also have it, but we are putting it specifically in this domain. See, women have worked in fields. Okay, evolution process is my favorite. Okay, evolution process. And you go
Wow.
there. Okay, what did women do initially? They were assisting men. Then they became pregnant. They were menstruating. Then they had babies, and they stayed back home. But they were not in the house alone. Can you eat only uncooked dal and rice and uncooked vegetables? No, it's just grains, it's just raw vegetables which is then creatively put together as food. Okay.
Right.
Women experiment on recipes. I always tell my students, when during break time they open tiffin boxes, I tell them that if you want to experience mother's love, open those tiffin boxes. The love is very much there. So the feminine spirit is this beautiful blend of culture, psychology, the spiritual dimensions as well, because these are the ones which have shaped our expressions. Who am I as a woman depends upon the family that I come from. Do they value
Wow.
them? It comes from the society. Am I just going to give myself this Women's Day and everybody's gonna wish me and all, and then the next day the abuse is back? It's not. I work with people across 80 countries plus, and I have realized that the spirit is the same. Spiritually, it's a
There is no
matter.
change.
Yeah, there is no. I used to think all this Sasbo kid, mother-in-law, daughter-in-law issues only are a matter of they're indigenous to India, but but it is across the world. It's like even developed countries have these issues. So somewhere it is a matter of what does a spirit represent? Its qualities like empathy. Empathy is different from sympathy. Empathy is when I remove my shoes and I get into it. A mother understands the pain of the child. She
Yeah.
knows she knows that the spouse requires support. She can't do anything. She can just support. She has
Right.
to reparent her parents. So there are multiple roles that she has to play. There is intuition. I see most of the holistic healers being women and they're very good at it. Okay. Creativity. Women show so much of creativity everywhere. And
Yes.
also, it's a matter of getting into the emotional intelligence, not getting into the theory and the concept of it, but understanding this is what is the requirement. And ultimately, she's nurturing life. She's holding space. And she's also creating harmony within. It's like when there are disagreements at home, it's largely women who patch up and bring
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
together. So it cannot be confined in a single definitions when we speak about the feminine spirit. It's an evolving expression of human consciousness as a whole.
So it predominantly, is existing everywhere, but then
Yes,
it comes up when it actually matters.
that's true.
Beautiful. So, in your experience as a counselor, what are some of the emotional struggles that women carry silently?
They carry a lot of struggles. One of them being this entire gender process or these binaries, then the gender construct, wherein women are supposed to do some things, when men are supposed to do some things. Men can cook in restaurants, but at home it's women who are supposed to cook. They have to deal with these constant pressures of perfection. If you look at the weight management industry, almost all targets are women. I have to maintain my beauty. The entire beauty industry also, it's
Yeah.
largely women oriented. I have to look
Brilliant.
pretty. I have to dress up. I have to manage my figure at all times. I have to be this perfect mother. You know, I cannot deal with anything else. I just have to be everything for everyone. And what
Being
happens
everything
is
for everyone.
and then what happens is that I often neglect my own emotional needs. There are
Mm.
all these silent pressures around, being perfectionist. Self-sacrifice, another one. So I want to again share something. I had gone for a workshop on women, and they had invited me to be a part of it because I had done a lot of work for this organization, and they request me just come and grace the workshop. It was a series of workshops, and when there was a lady who was speaking about diet, and she asked, so there were about 300 women in the audience, including me, and they asked, how many of y'all cook? She asked, how many of y'all cook the dishes that your family loves? So everybody raised one hand, I raised two hands. Then she asked, how many of y'all cook dishes that you like but your family doesn't like? I can't tell you, Parajita, not one hand went up, not even mine. And, they
Not
are
even
not even
you.
mine. Awareness. And that struck us that, how much are we sacrificing? And these expectations that I'm only supposed to cook for others. Women struggle with guilt if they have to prioritize themselves. And
Mm.
so does, and in case if they don't, so society puts you through that guilt trip. So it's often a matter of those deep needs that women have, be felt, to be seen, to be heard, to be supported
Okay.
without judgment.
To be felt,
self-esteem.
women
Uh,
actually, want to have it more than men.
yeah, yeah, and not to be judged. Like I want to gain weight, but don't judge me that you are no longer beautiful or you're losing your charm. I mean, I've seen men with like huge bellies all the time, and then women still say you're the world's most handsome man. Why can't he do the same to me? Love is not about only what is seen. It's about bonding, it's about connection, reconnection.
Yeah, right. I mean, what is the bond that you have with another person?
Yeah.
So, how does body play a role in emotional healing?
So, as I mentioned earlier when I spoke about cancer patients, see, our bodies are storehouses of emotional experiences. We are psychosomatic beings, which means the mind works on the body works on the mind. When I'm under mental stress, I don't feel like eating anything, or I may develop migraines or
Right.
headaches or ulcers. Yeah. If I'm undergoing physical trauma, the mind is also not supporting me. If I have got fever or some viral flu, I don't feel like I don't have the mental bandwidth to work. So the body is working on the mind and the mind is working on the body at all points in time. Similarly, when we have traumas, big T trauma and small t traumas, we talk about stress, we talk about unresolved emotions. All of this can manifest itself physically in the form of tension, in the form of fatigue, in the form of lot of discomfort. Yeah, ailments are called, the popular name is disease. Disease is dis-ease. So I'm not at ease. There is something. Again, I'll give you an example of a client that I worked with. She was coughing for 8 to 9 months. It was a bad cough. She had gone for those TB checks and she had gone for those lung checks and everything, CT scan, this scan, that scan. Doctor said, we can't find the reason why you're coughing. So she ultimately came to me and I asked her, is there something that you want to tell someone which you haven't? She said, oh, plenty of them.
Ah. I think it is common, no, for
Yeah.
everybody to have something
Yeah.
and then
But
because
in
you
her
don't know what
case,
is the other person's perspective, nor is it's in your boundary.
yeah. So then in that case, I had to make her say it, in creative visualization techniques and different ways and journaling and many other techniques that I had to use with her. And when she started expression, just mere expression in the crudest language that she really wanted to use, uncensored, not to them in person, but through soul talking and many other
But
modalities that
won't
we
you do
use.
it within yourself in a room, closed room?
Yeah, but sometimes you have to hold hands, right? You have to support, you have to give them professional help. And believe me, in 3 months, her cough vanished. I mean, it was at the peak, it started diminishing, diminishing. And then when she realized the power, okay, so it's just that all that was needed was expression. That is what was showing in the body
Hmm.
because the mind couldn't process it. The body was taking up all the beating. So, hence, all that is actually required is this awareness to help this release and this sort of a process that we have to develop for these stored emotions to find a safe space for
The
expression.
release
And
process.
thereby, you will be able to strike a balance between the mind and the body.
Okay. So, what does it mean to truly listen inward, and how can people cultivate that practice in everyday life?
As I said, listening is very important. So in yoga, there is a practice called pratyahara. Pratyahara is where you disconnect from the external completely and you focus on the internal. Now here, listening has to be first inwards. See, you have to pay attention to the signals and the red flags within. Okay, our
Hmm.
emotions, our intuition, our physical sensations tells me. Our thoughts are speaking loudly. They're sometimes screaming, but I choose not to listen. So one, give the space within to listen to what is happening inside. Second is when somebody is criticizing, we look at it as someone is really treating me bad and they're telling me terrible things. Sometimes we need to pause and ask, why is the person saying this to me without getting victimized? That's one of the biggest things. Don't victimize yourself. If you
Mm.
have this inner critic who is talking within you, listen and ask, is this my voice or is this the voice of my teacher in school who once told me you are dumb or you're stupid? Is this the voice of my parents who said you always have to perform and be the best that you can ever be? Whose voice is it? Whose voice am I still listening to? Then I start listening to everything that is happening externally, because somewhere the world within projects itself in the world outside. The world outside is actually, my external environment is a mirror. It's talking to me all the time. It's showing me a reflection of who I am. So I have to check. But these checks require small pauses. These checks
Ah,
requires check with yourself what's happening within you. Breathe within you consciously, reflect on what is happening, all these experiences internally, rather than immediately just reacting. Most of the times, Parijita, we are reacting, we're not acting. Over
yes.
time, you need to build a deeper relationship with oneself. I always tell people when I conduct all these big workshops, I ask them, who is your best friend? Tell me. Everybody will name, it is
Ah,
Ray, it is Joseph, it is Mary, it's this, that, all these names come to me. Nobody says I'm best friend to myself. I've lived with myself. There are people who hate
that's
themselves.
because as humans, we need another soul connect, right? We cannot think about, or we're not trained, or rather,
Yeah,
okay, we are not
that's
trained
true. We're not
to,
trained to make best friends with ourselves.
ah,
We're always finding somebody without. But the person lies with, nobody understands me the way I can understand myself. But do I give myself the power and the permission to do so?
okay. So it's within you to cultivate this.
That's right.
Okay. So sometimes people hesitate to explore holistic healing because it feels unfamiliar. So how can somebody approach these practices with openness?
So, first is what's most important is a sense of curiosity. Curiosity to ask and to learn about yourself. As I
Okay.
said, one of the greatest thing is that you should be curious enough to build awareness within you. You should be curious to learn about, explore practices which will resonate with you. Sometimes I have learned practices which haven't resonated within me, but no knowledge goes, useless or is a waste, because it may
Yeah.
not be useful to me, but it may be useful to somebody else. It's just adding to my knowledge bank as well. What's
Okay.
important is that you learn new and new modalities, you update from professional people only. Complement your own journey that you have taken up with yourself with some awareness, which is a professional guidance and a professional awareness, rather than only doing self diagnostics for yourself.
Got
Okay?
it.
Be ready to break barriers, be ready to feel uncomfortable, be ready to understand yourself from within. Again, I'll share this one very weird conversation that I had with someone. I one fine day
Okay.
I got a phone call, and the person says that, I have heard about you and that you know so many modalities. Tell me, I am a lazy person. I just want to learn one modality where I think and it happens. I just
Okay.
asked her, are you not going to do anything in terms of acting it out? You're
Action.
not taking some
No,
kind of
he does
step.
not need action. He just
No, the
needs
person,
the
yeah,
thought.
yeah, the person says, no, I should just think and it should happen.
Okay.
Then I said, I'm the
So
wrong one.
no action, only thought and
Only thought.
work.
Yeah. I said, no, it never works that way. It doesn't. The person said, no, I'm a very lazy person and I want to help others. I want to be a healer. But let
Okay.
them come, speak their mind out. I'll think everything becomes fine for them, and it just does. I told them, even God puts us through uncomfortable journeys in life and experiences to teach us many more things from it. And if we don't learn, the process gets repeated. You cannot say, I want a quick fix. There are no quick fixes to everything in the world. So you will come across people who are lazy, who will say, I don't want to do anything, I just want to think types. But then there are people who do put in efforts. It's like once you start putting in the efforts, you will start seeing results. But then don't stop. Again, it goes back, another parallel example is your weight release journey. Somebody lost 8 kilos of weight. Okay, it's massive. She then felt, I need to treat myself for a full month, and she gained back 12 kilos.
Wow.
You can't stop. You can't stop. The journey has to continue. You may feel lax for a few moments, for a day or something, but the journey consistency is very, very much required. And one of the greatest things that again people come to me for healing is consistency. They say, I'm not consistent. Help me to be. But it's not that I have to help them. They have to help themselves.
Consistency and even starting, beginning the process.
It's very true.
So action is powerful, listening is powerful.
That's true.
Okay, beautiful. I mean, I think we are just picking up, phrases that can, just stay in your mind. Beautiful. So finally, to have this conversation, so much of knowledge that you have added over, if there is one small practice or reflection you would recommend to help restore the feminine spirit in everyday life, what would it be?
I would say pause. Take a few deep breaths. Okay, just conscious breaths without judgment, without any thoughts. Every day, at least a few moments of these deep breaths, just to pause and to connect to your own soul, to your own spirit. Keep breathing works like magic. Just breathe and tell yourself some nice things. Pamper yourself with words. Tell yourself, I'm going all right. Today is an important day. Some of the things, we forget to even express something as small as gratitude when you wake up in the morning. I am alive for my loved ones. I'm alive to live all my dreams again. So breathing, practice of gratitude, and in a single day, Aparijita, there are so many things that you can feel gratitude for.
Yeah.
So many, so many. Something so small to something so big. When we create this sort of a space within myself, yeah, I always say your body is your temple. Make this a ritual. Your feminine spirit will naturally begin to flow again. And
Okay.
just this morning, I wrote a poem on this occasion of International Women's Day. If it's okay with
Wow.
you, may I just read it out?
Oh, I mean, I think I should, express my gratitude for me to even listen to it.
I think it's just here. I think this is the one. So this is what I wrote. Within each heart, a quiet flame, a steady light without a name. It whispers softly, calm and clear. Always lived within you here. Like rivers flowing to the sea, it moves with grace and dignity through storm and shadows, loss and start. It gently mends the human heart. So pause a moment, breathe in deep, honor the dreams you've yet to keep. For strength is not in standing tall alone, but knowing your spirit is your truest home.
Ah, wow. So the power of pause, the power of listening, and the power of action. Beautiful. Thank you so much, and hope to catch up in more topic discussions. Thank you so much, Simon, for creating the Women March this month, and especially on this D Day. Thank you so much for your time, and let's meet soon.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you once again.
Bye bye.